Today we're looking at interior and exterior angles of polygons and also what a polyhedron is. So your essential question, what is a polyhedron and how do I find the sum of the interior angles of a polygon? My learning intention. I'm learning to identify a polyhedron, find the sum of the interior angles of a polygon, and find the measure of an exterior angle of a polygon. You have a right triangle. Can you solve that right triangle? Pause the video and see if you can do it on your own. Well, I do hope you tried. Now, as always, this is 90 degrees. This third angle will be the quickest piece of the puzzle. So how do I find the third angle? Well, we know that the third angle is 90 degrees minus 63 degrees, which gives us 27 degrees. So this is 27 degrees. Now we can find the other two missing pieces of our right triangle by using sine, cosine, or tangent. So if we're looking for x, we can use either sine or cosine depending on which angle we focus on. If we focus on 63, that means that this is our adjacent and this is our hypotenuse, AH, which is cosine. So the cosine of 63 degrees is equal to 23 divided by x. Now, when the variable's at the bottom, what do? Remember, we have to, what? Flip-flop. So x is equal to 23 divided by cosine of 63 degrees and we end up with 50.66, which is about 50.7. And we don't know what units we're in, so we just put U for units. Okay, now, using 63, if we want the opposite side and we know the adjacent, opposite and adjacent, what do we use? We use the tangent. So the tangent of 63 degrees is equal to, I'm going to use y for this one, y over 23. Well, this time, because the 23 is at the bottom, we're going to multiply both sides by 23. So we're going to take 23 times the tangent of 63. And we end up with 45.1. And once again, we just put U for units because we don't know what units it's in. So this leads us to what a polyhedron is. A polyhedron is a closed three-dimensional figure formed by four or more polygons that intersect only at their edges. A polyhedron has all flat surfaces, while a non-polyhedron has at least one curved surface. So if you're thinking about this definition, if you have a curved surface, that is not a polyhedron. They have to be all triangles, the polygons of some type. They cannot. They can be pyramids. They can be a rectangular prism. They can be any kind of right prism, but they can't be anything that would have that curve in it. So it could not be a cylinder. It could not be a sphere, because those both have curved surfaces. To be a regular polygon, all of the what and what are congruent. Sides and angles. A square is a regular polygon. So, we've looked at polygons, we've looked at polyhedrons. Which of the following are polyhedrons? What about that first one? Well, all your edges are triangles, and your base is a square. So this would be yes. What about the next one? This would be no, because it has a curved surface. Think of an ice cream cone, one of those waffle cones. When you flip it upside down and hold on to it, it's all curved. What about the pentagonal prism? That would be yes again. You've got 2 pentagons, and then you've got 5 rectangles. You don't have any curved surfaces. And the last one is a sphere. This would be no. It's all curves. Remember, you can't have that curved surface. So, think about the different kinds of polygons we have. So, the sum of the interior angles of a polygon, the formula for it is, in parentheses, n minus 2, parentheses, times 180 degrees, where n is the number of the sides of a polygon. Now, why does it work out that way? Well, because any of your figures can be turned into triangles. You can cut it into pieces that are triangular shape. So, the sum of the exterior angles of a polygon is, guess how many degrees? If you go around all the edges, what can you form? So if you're thinking about how you can create a circle, then that leads you to understand that the sum of the exterior angles of any polygon is how many degrees? 360 degrees. If the polygon is a regular polygon, you can find the measure of any of the exterior angles by taking 360 and dividing by n, where n is the number of the sides of your polygon. So we're going to look at some regular polygons, and we're going to find the sum of the interior angles of these polygons, and then the measure of one exterior. Remember, these are regular polygons. That means all the sides and all the angles are congruent. The first thing we have to do is to decide what n is. N is the number of sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So n is 5. For the interior angles, And this is the sum. N minus 2. Well, n is 5. 5 minus 2 times 180 degrees. It's 3 times 180 degrees, which is 540 degrees. Okay, for an exterior angle. And remember, this only works if it's regular. So it'll be 360 degrees divided by 5. And you get 72. So each of these interior angles will be 72 degrees. Now remember how I was telling you that you can take any polygon and you can divide it into triangles? That's why we're looking at the n minus 2. So if you're looking at this, okay, I've got 5 sides, but I've only got 3 triangles. 5 minus 2 is equal to those 3 triangles. And that's how you find the sum of those interior angles. For the next one, use the formula and find the sum of the interior angles and find one exterior angle measure. Pause the video and try to do it on your own. Well, I hope you tried. So the sum of the interior angles. Okay, so we have to know what our n is. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's got 9 sides. N minus 2. 9 minus 2 times 180 degrees. Seven times 180 degrees gives me 1,260 degrees. Okay, but what about one exterior angle? Remember what you have to do? 360 degrees divided by 9, which will give me 40 degrees. So each of my exterior angles would be 40 degrees. If you're not sure what an exterior angle looks like, if I extend this, this would be my exterior angle. And if you notice, you can take all of these out and it makes kind of a cute little figure if you do it that way. So, how do we find the missing angle measures? Well, the first thing we have to know is how many degrees total are on those polygons. So I have to use the sum of the interior angles formula to find the total degrees, and then I just subtract what I know. So, if I'm looking at this, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. 5 minus 2 times 180 degrees. 3 times 180 degrees, we did that a little bit ago, and we ended up with 540 degrees. That's my total number of degrees. So now, I take 540 degrees minus the sum of 111 degrees plus 118 degrees plus 130 degrees plus 109 degrees. Doing it all at once using parentheses. 540 minus parentheses 111 plus 118 plus 130 plus 109, and I have 72 degrees left. Okay, for the next one, how many degrees total? Got 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. So think of a square. A square has 4 sides. How many degrees are the interior angles? Well, for the total, we would take 4 minus 2 times 180 degrees. 2 times 180 degrees is 360 degrees. That's my total. To find the answer, 360 degrees minus the sum of 103 degrees plus 133 degrees plus 58 degrees gives me what? Putting it all together, 66 degrees. Okay, so if you're looking for an missing interior angle, you have to find the sum of all of the interior angles and then subtract what you know. But what about the exterior angles? Well, they're always the same. They're always 360 degrees. So we have to add everything together, and it will be equal to 360 degrees. So I've got 75 plus 44 plus 65 plus x plus 76 plus 54. That equals 360 degrees. These are all degree measures. So 75 plus 44 plus 65 plus 76 plus 54. I've got 314. So 314 degrees plus x is equal to 360 degrees. How do I solve? Well, I'm going to subtract 314 from both sides, 314 degrees. I've eliminated it here. 360 minus 314, and I get 46 degrees. So x is equal to 46 degrees. Okay, pause the video and do the next one on your own. Well, I do hope you tried. So 71 degrees plus 85 degrees plus 44 degrees plus 3x plus 2x equals 360 degrees. So what is 71 plus 85 plus 44? That's 200. 200 degrees plus 3x plus 2x is 5x is equal to 360 degrees. Now I'm ready to solve. I will start by subtracting 200 from both sides. 5x is equal to okay, 160 degrees. Divide by 5. And x is equal to 32 degrees. Now, just because I'm always worried about making a mathematical error, 160 divided by 5, and I get 32. I was correct. So this would be 32 times 2, which would be 64 degrees. 32 times 3, which would be 96 degrees. And we're done. So, how do you know when you're successful? You know when you're successful when you can identify what a polyhedron is, find the sum of the interior angles of a polygon, and find the measure of an exterior angle of a regular polygon. So, polyhedrons. Then we've got polygons. Interior / exterior measures.